I know, and I am the sheriff. This is a real sheriff's badge. In case you don't know what a sheriff is a High Court enforcement officer. I enforce these, which is a High Court writ. There's a couple more over there for you to take a look at. This one is against London Borough of Dagenham and Barking. Yes, I did seize a town hall, and yes, I do have a bit of paper saying that I am the glorious owner of a town hall. How did a London Borough get a judgment against them? Well, it's an organisation. The invoice was sent in, it was signed off by the manager, but it got lost on the way to the finance department, and then nobody actually took ownership of the problem. What I want to talk about today is actually due diligence and credit checking, and how the services offered by the banks is actually a load of horse crap. Sorry, but it is. And I'll show you exactly why in a moment. If you was to credit check this council, it would say absolutely creditworthy. Yeah. If you was to credit check Barclays Bank, creditworthy. In fact, there's a credit check I run off on Barclays Bank this morning. There's a couple more over there. And at the top it says credit rating this morning 81%. Very good creditworthiness. Yeah? However, they do not choose to pay their bills. This here is a list of judgments outstanding against Barclays Bank, and every one that I've highlighted in orange, they're on the sheets there in front of you, is a judgment that I can transfer up into a High Court writ and enforce in Canary Wharf tomorrow. And there's pages and pages and pages of judgments against Barclays Bank. Yet, according to a credit check, they're very creditworthy. Now, surely as a business owner, who would you rather listen to on a system on credit checking your own customers to making sure you get paid? A bank that just types in information, or somebody that actually gets money out of people? And that's what essentially I'd like to show you this morning. That's what I do. There's various things that are free that are available. Google is lovely. I love Google, especially Google Maps. We'll come back to that later. The National Business Register. You might like to make a note of these websites. If not, just come and see me afterwards and I'll give you the list. The National Business Register, you type in the company name there and it'll give you a little bit of information. Company's House is absolutely fantastic. And just think of a business, and I'll do it live now. It's a business. I don't want to do an existing business that I'm already aware of. I want you to surprise me, and I'll show you how I would go about looking and getting some secrets against that company. So why don't we go for it? Can somebody name me a company?
Any volunteers?
Delamode in Braintree.
Delamode.
Delamode.
Delamode. Okay. How do you spell that?
D-E-L-A-M-O-D.
Okay. Company's House is down.
They saw you coming, Steve.
Well done him. He's doing a live speech, you know.
Yeah, they saw you coming.
Yes. Right, okay, bear with me. It's working. Right, so essentially, I'd go into Company's House, and there is very limited and quite frankly out-of-date information there. But what I'm really looking for is a company number that I can put into other searches. So I've got Delamode PLC, 700 Avenue West, Braintree. Okay, got the company number there. Now, what I'm looking for is when it was incorporated, and this was incorporated in 1999, which is a good sign. Anything less than 3 years, I'll be a little bit concerned about finding assets there. So yeah, that's looking good. Full accounts, that's another big one. If it's exempt and small, there's a very good chance somebody's bought a company off the shelf. You can actually buy a company online for £17 now. And you can use that as a conduit to essentially, that company invoices your clients, it doesn't hold any money, and it just passes money through. And the amount of judgments I see for paper companies like that, they're just completely unenforceable, and the client has essentially wasted their time getting a judgment against that company. It's just a company on paper, normally in a virtual office, and the registered address will be an accountant's address. No assets whatsoever, should not have done business with them in the first place, giving them any credit whatsoever. Freight transport by road, fantastic. You know, loads of little tractor units for me to clamp and take away. Yeah, I can take them. I've had some of them as well before. I actually did a coach company in South London. A friend of mine worked for London Transport, was a bus driver, and I deputised him for the morning. So essentially we went into the yard, and if they didn't pay us, he was going to drive a coach out. Anyway, okay, so they've changed their name a couple of times, but that's nothing to really worry about. Take that company now. I'll pop it into my own search facility, and this is my fun bit. I like this bit. And I highly recommend that you do this as well when you're dealing with your customers. Is get one of these reports. And it gives you so much ammunition when you. And it's not always a negative thing. Your customer thinks that you care, and they feel lovely and cuddled and cozy because you're actually taking the time to find out about them, what their company is involved in. And I'll go for the full report. Thank you very much. So actually, to know who the directors are. And this is what I would do every time I'd be doing an enforcement.
So what report is this?
This is a full company report on Delamode.
Yeah, but on which website? Where did you get it from?
This is my own.
Oh, it's your own.
This isn't a free one, but essentially go onto Google and do company credit checks. And the main one is Credit Safe. I don't use them. They're Welsh, but no, it's just. Right, okay. Now what I'm looking for now is any outstanding county court judgments, any other. Nope, they've got no judgments against them. They do have a number of mortgages, but they're all quite healthy. Very healthy. Sorry?
I'll sign them up then.
Okay, we've got a director, Sean Jeffrey. He lives in Saffron Walden, just down the road. Born in 1966. What I'm a little bit concerned now is the fact that he's got a number of other businesses that he's been involved in. Because not only does it tell me his activity with Delamode, it also tells me what other companies he's a director of. And if he's a director of a load of companies that are of similar name, and they're all dissolved, that sparks in my mind that he's a Phoenix business. Essentially, you will get up a load of bad debts, shut down, next day opens up and there's a new company, and so it's a pain to enforce against that kind of person. It can be done. You have to take them on the Companies Act, because essentially your judgment will be against the company that now no longer exists because it's dissolved. So you'd have to go after them under the Companies Act in breach of trust. So and essentially prove why did you move all those assets from one company to another company for £1? I know of a certain carpet fitter that's got a builder that's done that, and essentially he sold a load of excavators for £1 each. from one company to another. Paid himself £30,000 as well, overnight. So those are the kind, and it can be done. This guy, Sean, has got 6 other companies dissolved. Delamode Northern Limited dissolved. Delamode PLC is another one. That one's active. Okay, there's only a company secretary on some of them, but you know this. I would be if I was looking to have a business relationship with that guy, I'd like to mention that with him. So you know what happened with Delamode Northern Limited, how you know, and just find out. And if he's not a Phoenix, he'd be quite happy and open to discuss that with you. If he's got a dodgy past, you can see him getting a bit nervous, then you know everything up front, or simply just walk away. Now, this is my favourite bit. Google Maps. So you can take the guy's postcode.
The guy, you mean his personal postcode or
Yep.
the company postcode?
Yeah. You got on these reports, you get the director's home addresses. Unless I did capital one as a laugh the other day for somebody else, and all the directors were registered at the company's address, which you can do, and I had to put that name into one of my other devices, and I got the woman's home address and showed him her house, which is what I'm going to do for you now. Oops. So yeah, whilst I'm doing this, as this guy has been quite, you know, clean and he's got all his addresses there, you can think of somebody now rather than a company. Just think of a relative, somebody that I would not know. Preferably not a scallywag, somebody that lives in a bedsit or rooms in a pub. And I'll tell you the date of birth, where they live.
What about Fred Goodwood?
Oh, well, that's that Net West bloke, isn't it?
Yeah.
RBS.
Yes. Okay, why not?
Same difference though. Just that west.
I love Google Maps for this, because you know, as a bailiff, looking for addresses is a complete pain, because when you're delivering stuff, you can always phone them up and say, I'm struggling to find your address, whereabouts exactly are you? As a bailiff attending with a warrant or a writ, you can't, I'm sorry, I'm attending to remove goods and I'm meant to surprise you in about 10 minutes, but I can't actually find your address. No. But anyway, if you've used this street view on Google Maps before,
Yeah.
there's a little man on the left-hand side, you grab his head and you drop him down on the street, and you can see the guy's house. You can see the guy's house. There we go.
Is this Fred the Shed or?
No. This is Delamode. Sean. And it looks like, yeah, it's quite a nice place. It's not ex-council. Semi. Quite respectable. So, yeah. Yeah, I like finding scallywags. Yeah, no, he seems like a decent chap to do business with. Right, so let's go for searching people. 192.com, that's a good one, it's quite cheap to use. It has its limitations. Personally, I can't stand it. It's too clunky and awkward to use. I've got another one that I use, and I think that's great. Not only... Don't do that. Yeah, this one's really great. But right now it doesn't like me. Okay. Just give us a sec. Right, so. Right, I'm going to have to log back into this. So, talk amongst yourselves.